Hi friends, this is Caitlin and welcome back to day 11 of my October Eve series. I'm posting a new Halloween or fall themed project every day leading up to October 1st, and today I tried using the new Fawn Flippy Flappy die for the first time ever. I freaking love it. I won't be going into teacher mode for this part of the video because it was just my first time and Lawn Fawn has their own amazing video already up. As a matter of fact, I was literally watching the Lawn Fawn video from this while I was making it. I ended up with one little thing I would tweak for next time, but otherwise I think this was very easy to use and was generally a success. I grabbed this really pretty orange and white dot pattern paper from the new Lawn Fawn Sweater Weather Remix for the main panel, and I loved how great the oxides looked on my craft cardstock in yesterday's video. If you haven't seen that yet, you have to check it out. It turned out so beautiful. But anyway, I decided to use craft for the mechanism piece as well as the front panel for this card so that I could blend with oxides again, but this time using a stencil. And because I knew I wanted to put part of my sentiment on the pool tab as a reveal, I decided to make my pool tab craft as well, just to keep everything clean and simple. I really love that Lawn Fawn is so innovative with their interactive dies, and I've been very tempted in the past to get one of their other ones, but I've always been worried that I won't use them enough to make it worth it. I love the idea of the Flippy Flappy as a way to present a gift card though, and that's what really sealed the deal for me. It really is a 2-in-1. It can be so easy to get caught up in new release madness and just want to grab everything, but I think it's important to really think about what items you know you're going to get a really good use out of. I also know that's easier said than done though. I don't own any layering stencils like this one, and when I saw it, I knew it would be great because you could use it for fall and summer cards, just depending on the color palette you used. I'm working with a limited Oxide color range, so I decided to go with a non-traditional color scheme. I used mustard seed and carved pumpkin for this first stencil, which I think is actually meant to be used second, but it came out just fine. With the mustard seed, I went in and just kind of colored in half of each little leaf and some of the circles and dots here and there more than others, and then just filled in the rest with the orange. Then I switched out my stencils and went in with this Salvaged Patina, which gives a very cool turquoisey feel, and then paired it up with the Seedless preserves. Again, just kind of filling in half of each leaf with one and then filling in the rest of the leaf with the other color. When I was cleaning these off, I found the easiest thing, because there's so much oxide ink on this when I'm done, I just ran it under the water in the sink and everything came right off. The reveal of this stencil made me so happy, and this color scheme is giving me very strong Disney Pocahontas cartoon movie vibes. Do you know what I mean? That colors of the wind are definitely in this card. The last step was to attach my stenciled panel onto my mechanism panel, and I'm pretty sure that I did this a little bit off. This is the one thing I would change if I could do it again. I think I should have shifted that panel down just a hint away from that mechanism, because when my flap opens at the end, my little mouse can't go completely flat. He kind of sits up a little bit, and I think that just like a hair off on my paper. I already had a die-hard love for these little mice from Lawn Fawn. I have all of the other sets, and so when I saw the new You Autumn Know set, I knew I wanted to add them to my collection because you can interchange them with all the sets together to make whatever scene and positioning that you want. They're so cute and they make my heart so happy. With my background being so bright and non-traditional, I wanted to keep the coloring on my mice really simple, and so I stuck with warm grays, which are actually my favorite color combination for these mice anyway. I also love really going in and adding little spots on their backsides at the end. I think it's just a cute little bonus detail, even if it's not super realistic. This little jumping yay mouse is absolutely the sweetest little critter that I've ever seen in a stamp. He just looks so happy, and I feel like you could use him for any season. He could be making snow angels, he could be jumping in leaves. I just love him so much. I also decided that I wanted my leaves to try to match the leaves of my background. So you can see I pulled my background over so that I had it as a color reference, and I went in with some oranges and yellows, just trying to make that same kind of yellowy golden orangey color with an ombre effect. And then I also went in with some brighter violets and the blue was a little bit tricky. I tried to go in with some BGs and it started to turn too like green, versus that Salvaged Patina is like a really nice balance between a blue and a teal. So I ended up going in at the very end with a true blue light shade, and I think that it's small enough space that it works. But if I could do it over again, or I had other markers, I probably would shift that color a little bit. But overall, with the finished piece, I think the colors work out pretty well, and I was definitely happy with it. Then it was time to die cut out all of my images, and I actually ran the jumping yay mouse die by itself through a second time, because in the Lawn Fawn video it said that you get better results if the image that is jumping out has a little bit more weight to it. And so I'm sure this didn't add a ton, but I figured adding a little second layer for him would help better than nothing. And then it was time to place my images on the card, and I wish that this one little mouse hanging from the yellow leaf, I wish he was facing to the left. I think it would have been a little bit cuter, but for how cute this thing is overall, I definitely think it works. I also grabbed my banner dies from Lawn Fawn and decided to use that as a way to add the sentiment. I could not find my large acrylic block. I forgot that I had left it upstairs. So I'm actually using this acrylic ruler, but it worked out perfect. So I put my die cut upside down underneath, and then lined my stamp up following that curve with the ruler, and then was able to just stamp it down, and everything was fine. I kept feeling like I should have done something else to this sentiment to make it stand out. I'm not sure if my brain wanted it to be more colorful or add some more dimension to it, but with everything else going on with this card and how much that mechanism piece makes the whole thing popped up, I really didn't want to add even more bulk on the front of it. And with how busy that background was, I really just thought that it would look best to kind of just be plain, and by not having a ton on it, it would stand out more against the background of everything else. When I was lining up my leaf pile and sentiment, I had the little yay mouse there for a second just to help me figure out if everything was lined up so that there would be room for him to pop out with the mechanism. I also knew that I wanted the second part of my sentiment to come out on the pull tab, and so I had to do a little bit of stamp surgery. I cut this sentiment in half, and don't panic if you've never done that. As long as you have a nice sharp pair of scissors, you can trim in between the two pieces and then go back in later on and line them right back up. I've done it before and I've never had an issue, but you can see now I was able to make that "How Much I Love You" fit perfectly on the top part of my pull tab. And now I'm adding in the double-sided tape and acetate, and this is again where I'm really not sure if I put that tape too far towards the stenciled panel or not, or if my panel was just a hair too long. I'm not really sure, but something is up with how this little part sits against that stenciled panel, and it's gonna take at least one more time of me making this, if not many more times, for me to figure out how to adjust it so that when I pull out my mouse, he sits flat. So you'll see in the next couple of seconds me really playing with this a bunch, trying to teach the mechanism how to work, and also me trying to figure out if it's supposed to be flat or stick out a little bit or what's supposed to happen. So enjoy my struggle for a minute. Once I had that acetate attached and I thought I had a good understanding of how it was going to work, I went in and double-side taped my little cute mouse, and once again, double-sided tape backing is the bane of my existence, and this part of getting that tape off, the backing off of the tape on the back of this mouse was harder than putting together this entire Flippy Flappy die. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like, why can't I handle tape? Okay, so you line up the little mouse with the leaf pile, and then I trimmed off the end, little bit extra of acetate. And this is so cute, you guys. It is so cute. I don't even mind that he sticks up a little bit because it looks so cute because he kind of like bounces around when you pull out the card. You definitely have to play with this a bunch to kind of get the mechanism and the paper moving the way you want it to. It does get easier the more that you do it. They say that in the Lawn Fawn video too, and I wasn't sure that I believed it, but she is 100% right. The more you play with it, the easier it moves. And I'm telling you, this is so adorable. I'm so excited to make more of these. Christmas is going to be crazy around here because everybody's getting gift cards and everybody's getting Flippy Flappies, and I love it. This card is so fun and full of joy, and I hope that by trying out the Flippy Flappy for the first time with you, it seems less intimidating for you to try on your own. I definitely have no regrets about this purchase, and I'm excited to make more. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done that already. I hope you have a great day, and happy crafting.